everybody. We're back again to talk some more NFL football. Man, we are already jumping to week 4.
And we're getting deeper and deeper.
We just finished week 3 already, man.
And it's passing by pretty quick.
This, and I don't know if it was been without the fans last year or what it is.
It feels like a better year.
It feels so good. The NFL football feels so good this year. But before we jump into week 4, we do need to talk about the winners
and the losers.
Of week 3. So let's go ahead and jump on into that. First of all, we actually had a Thursday game that was a pretty good game. We had your Panthers
beat the living crap
out of the Texans.
Defensively manhandling.
Yeah. McCaffrey went down, which is sort of bad, but it's not a serious injury. He did not go on IR, which means he will not miss more than 3 weeks.
So we had J.C. Horn, though.
J.C. Horn broke a bone in his foot. He's their top DB. And he's going to be out till maybe the start of the playoffs, but
they traded for the Jaguars starting corner.
They stole the Jaguars starting corner. Was
C.J. Henderson.
C.J. Henderson, who was the number 9 pick in the 2020 draft. So they had one to go down and picked up. I mean, that was honestly, it was almost like a Robin. It was like a bandit. They went in and boom, boom. This was hurt. Boom, let's go steal this guy. Now if they have him and he's doing great, and then they bring back in Horn at the start of the playoffs,
that could be a threatening defensive line.
They're already threatening, but man, you put that. The Panthers, without any serious injuries, if McCaffrey can come back, although I do think Chuba Hubbard is going to be a fantastic backup running back. Their offense is dynamic enough, I think, to where they can still use him. They'll miss McCaffrey. Don't get me wrong. I think him and Derrick Henry are the best running backs in the league. But I think that they will still do pretty good. But anyways, the Panthers looking good at 3.
Last time they did that was when they went to the Super Bowl in 2015.
Leading the division over the Bucs.
We'll talk about that.
But we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's go ahead and jump on into Sunday's games. We had the Bears at the Browns.
Dear Lord, this was horrible. Let me tell you one thing.
That was a bad offensive play, man.
Man, Matt Nagy. No wonder why he's on the hot seat.
Yeah, he should be on the hot seat. Everybody's been crying for the Red Rifleman to be to be benched. Let's bring in Fields. We brought in Fields. Why in the world are we starting? And
do you know what happened?
He threw for 68 yards, which is not good in any means. But he also got sacked for how many yards? 67 yards. So he ended up with
one
passing yard. In 4 quarters, he got
1 yard.
1 yard of offense. 1 yard of positive offense.
From each side of the football field, from this side to the other, is 100 yards.
Yes.
And if you get you get 1 yard per pass.
He'd have to throw 100 passes to get from one side of the field to the other. 1 yard. Oh.
And not to mention, how many? Let's count the sacks, kids. 1, 2.
How many?
3.
More?
4, 5.
What?
6,
2 hands?
7, 8, 9 sacks.
Oh, man, you almost had to go to your feet there. And Myles Garrett broke the Browns sack record for a single game with
4.5.
4.5 sacks for one part. Myles Garrett did go in this game going, oh my goodness gracious. He's like, I'm going to get me some quarterback this game. That was a very bad offensive
kudos to the Browns.
showing.
They took advantage of a historically bad offensive performance, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't want to put the Bears were horrible. But I don't want to put them, because I think the Browns are actually a really good team. I think they will win their division, and I think they will be a challenge to get into the AFC Championship game. So you can't knock the Bears too much, even though you can. They looked bad. I don't care how good the Browns are, man. They look bad.
Let me tell you, that performance reminded me of Adam Gase.
Bad?
Yeah, no, wait. I'll make it even worse.
What?
That Matt Nagy offense reminded me that made Adam Gase look like Andy Reid.
Oh, man.
It made Adam Gase
look like an offensive genius?
1 yard explains itself.
1 yard, man. They had 1 yard.
That's just horrible.
That was horrible. Anyways, the Bears are trending down.
Because their offense stinks.
Now, their defense is pretty good.
They tried their best.
They got Khalil Mack. I know they got another, what's his name? Is it Brooks? I can't remember, but they've got really two good defensive ends. And I think they got a little banged up in that game. Game might have been a little bit, or the contributive factor.
But the Bears' offense stunk.
Yeah, but the Bears' defense ain't on the Bears' offense.
Yeah, so. The Bears' defense ain't on the
Browns
offense.
scored a little bit more than they would have because Khalil Mack and stuff was injured there a little bit, but they went on the other side of the ball. That was pure bad offense.
That was garbage offense.
The Browns got a good defense, but they're not the 85 Bears. Speaking of the Bears. So... But anyways, let's jump on to the next game. The Bears trending up. The Browns trending up. The Bears trending down. We'll jump on into the Ravens at the Lions. What a fantastic finish.
What a Detroit way to lose.
It's a very Detroit dominated this game, really. The Ravens are really struggling on offense right now. But when you lose 10 starters to knee injuries during the preseason, you're going to have some problems there. So they're struggling on offense. The Bears, the Lions were like, taking advantage of it, and they had them beat.
Until they gave up a 4th and 19, and Justin Tucker hit the longest field goal in NFL history.
Yeah, they gave up a 4th and 19. They passed the ball down. It was to the 49 yard. It was the 49-yard line, which you snap back 17, snap 7-10 for the end zone. So you got a 66-yard field goal.
And Justin Tucker,
the
best kicker in the league.
The best kicker. He's the best kicker ever right now. And he doinked it off the goalpost.
At the same time, I congratulate Justin Tucker on the record he set.
It's fantastic. When you set a record, it's fantastic. When you win a game with a 66-yard field goal after completing a 4th and 19,
that's crazy.
That's fantastic.
That's fantastic.
You know the funny thing? That kick was 66 yards. He actually got 19 more yards on that kick than the Bears' whole offense did for the game. 19, yeah.
Oh, no.
That's bad. Justin Tucker outdistanced the entire Bears offense by 19 yards.
That's got to hurt every Lion fan that saw
that. I know, that was pretty bad, yeah. We had the Colts at the Titans. The Titans are back to their form again. They looked like they should be.
One thing, they got to clean up some turnover issues and clean up some of the offensive line blocking.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And
their offensive coordinator is gone.
To the Falcons, and so they got a new one in there. They're trying to rework.
They're trying to rework the offense, and it's tough when a new guy comes in. The offense was firing on all cylinders last year, so it's tough to get back to that. But Derrick Henry
ran for 100 yards again.
He's still good. So as long as you can go here, Derrick, then you can get some pretty good offense. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, but anyways, the Titans looked pretty good, 25-16.
But the Colts won the turnover battle 3-0 and still lost.
Yeah, and who's the quarterback for the Colts?
Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz. He doesn't get the W in his name until he gets one.
Yes.
So he's Carson Wentz for the time being. We'll jump onto the Chargers-Chiefs. Man, the poor Chiefs.
Their defense and their offensive surprising turnover woes continue.
How many turnovers this game?
Count them, kids. 1, 2, 3, 4.
4 turnovers. They gave up, 5 turnovers the week before? Now 4 turnovers this week?
Man, they're coughing up the ball like they need to go to the doctor or something.
Yeah, they need to go get some breathing treatments to quit coughing up that ball so much.
Yep.
It's horrible. I mean, it's almost like Jameis Winston's in there. They're giving up so many turnovers.
I won't call Patrick Mahomes Jameis Winston.
No, well, Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Jameis Winston, the 2 were fumbles and 2 were interceptions. So, I mean, it's...
Jeez.
Until they clean that up a little bit. First of all, they're giving up way too many points. Again, for the 3rd straight week, they gave up 30 points.
It's strange to talk about the Chiefs so negatively.
Oh, I mean, you sort of have... You give them credit whenever they're crushing people. You got to hit them a little bit whenever they're doing something that they shouldn't. And they're turning the ball over when they shouldn't turn the ball over.
And that's what won the Chargers the game.
Yeah.
The Chargers took advantage.
The Chargers took advantage. Now, again, you don't want to take away from the Chargers. Justin Herbert is a very good young quarterback, and that's a pretty good young team. But they should not beat the Chiefs right now in Arrowhead.
Because the Chiefs are in win now mode.
But now, guess who the bottom of the AFC West is?
The Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
Would you ever think that would happen?
They are 4th in their division.
First time since 2015.
The bottom. So they've got some serious work to do with the turnover problems and with
the leaky
defense. Yeah. We had the Saints at the Patriots.
Was it the Patriots just didn't have the pass catchers?
Their wide receivers just were horrible, man.
I mean,
There was balls. I mean, it was like their chest was made out of rubber and their hands were made out of springs. It was like pure on the balls bounced off them. There was 2 interceptions that I think they almost just handed it to the DB because they just bounced off their chest. So I don't blame Mac Jones as much as that because the team around him was
lackluster.
stinky. Yeah, Mac Jones is still young. He's going to make some mistakes, but again, I think Belichick and Mac Jones has got a really bright future. But the Saints were actually pretty good. So. We had the Bengals at the Steelers.
Speaking of a mediocre performance.
The end of an era. I'm going to go ahead and say it.
The end of an era?
This is the end of the Ben Roethlisberger era.
Man, I've always wanted the Roethlisberger menu item to get a good old Roethlisberger.
I love Roethlisberger. He has been so good. But
it's time it seems.
I think it just looks like that team is... the Bengals wide receiver him said that he thought the Steelers gave up at halftime. They gave up. They wouldn't even try to catch the ball. They were dropping the ball and they were just giving up. So there's some serious turmoil going in there, and it almost.
Mike Tomlin's going to have to figure. I think
it's rebuild time. I think after this year, there's going to be a high draft pick for the Steelers looking for another quarterback.
That's going to be something else to really look forward to.
Yeah, I hate it. The Steelers have made a good run and being won 2 Super Bowls. They've looked fantastic, but I think it's
the time.
I think it's the time. Now, I could be wrong. They could turn it around, hit it, and go, but right now they just do not look that way. And Cincinnati, to get beat that way by Cincinnati, they didn't just get beat. They got whipped by Cincinnati by a second-year quarterback with a team that just lost to the Bears.
Yeah, that offense.
Yes, that offense just kicked the crap out of you.
Oh my gosh! But my goodness, the Bengals had the worst O-line in football, and they couldn't even touch him. No sense. No,
that's what I think. I think the entire Steelers team. I just think it's rebuild time, man. I do. But kudos to the
Bengals getting the big win.
And now the Steelers are last
in their division.
We've got the Steelers and the Chiefs. Last of the division. So we've definitely got some turnover. We had the Packers at the 49ers, maybe the best finish I've seen since the 66-yard field goal. Come on, that week we had 2 fantastic finishes this week. Fantastic.
The 49ers have a go-ahead touchdown drive. They give Aaron Rodgers way too much time.
The 49ers get a touchdown. There's 37 seconds left, and the Packers have 37 seconds and no timeouts.
That's still too much time.
Think about it. No, I want you to think about it. So they kick the ball off. So the Packers have it at the 25. So you've got 25 more yards to the 50. And you've got another 16 yards to get up to the 34 where they kick the field goal from. So you've got 16 plus 25. You've got 41 yards that you need to go with 0 timeouts.
And old man Aaron.
If you walked 41 yards, you probably couldn't walk it in 37 seconds. And he threw the ball in 2 passes to the middle of the field. Didn't throw to the sidelines to try to stop the clock. Threw to the middle of the field like, all right. Threw to the middle of the field. Walked up down to the line. Wasn't even in a hurry to down it. Mm-hmm. And with 2 seconds left, and then Crosby come out and said, I got this. And kicked a 51-yard field goal and just crushed the 49ers' soul, man. 37 seconds, man. He beat them in 37 seconds with no timeouts.
That's old man Aaron.
And had 2 seconds to spare.
That's the old man Aaron I know.
That's the old man Aaron I love to watch, man. I'm not a Packers fan. They're not my favorite team. But that's good football. That's just awesome. That's awesome to watch, you know?
Yes,
just to see that happen. It's just fantastic. But congrats, because if they would have lost, they would have been 1
and 2. I don't think that would have made a difference because everybody else was 1 and 2.
Yeah, but they would have still been last in their division. They would have been tied for last in their division. So that's how much they went from tied to last to first with 37 seconds, which was fantastic. There was some good football this weekend. Speaking of good football, Josh Allen is a good quarterback. The Bills and the Dubs.
They doubled them up.
Yeah.
The W's turned into the L's.
Yeah, 43-21. And I tell you what, Josh Allen's my MVP in the AFC right now.
Well, Josh Allen has performed above expectations once again.
Well, he had a huge step up in his completion percentage. You know, he went from the 50% completion
to the
60 to 70%.
It's a natural
completion.
quarterback progression.
So the good quarterbacks do that. The bad ones go from 50 to 45 because they just. But I think he put in the time. He put into practice. The wide receivers come in. Adding Emmanuel Sanders was whoever's the GM of that team. He needs to get a raise. Look at the team he has put around Josh Allen.
And the Bills look like a dynamic offense.
Yeah, I mean you steal Diggs
from the Minnesota
Vikings.
robbery.
You steal Emmanuel Sanders
for a crime robbery
from the Saints for nothing, and you put Diggs and Emmanuel Sanders in there with Josh Allen completing 70% passes now.
That could be a team to watch out for. Buffalo might be my pick in the Super Bowl if they continue to play.
If they continue looking this good, they're definitely, I think they're above the 50 percentile right now. And Josh Allen is my MVP at this time. We'll look at the Falcons and the Giants. Somebody had to lose the game. And I don't think there was a winner no matter what happened. But somebody had to lose, and the loser
was the Giants.
Who now have a 2% chance to win the NFC East. I can't believe they got a 2% chance to win the NFC East. How can you have a 2% chance? They suck.
My goodness. I mean, on Eli Manning's retirement ceremony.
The Eli Manning's retirement ceremony. And how many points did you score?
14.
14 points. You scored 14 points.
And I know the main reason why that happened.
What was that?
Jason Garrett,
who is still the offensive coordinator for Week 4. Mr. Clappy Clappy. You wonder why the Cowboys are doing better? No more clappy clappy, no more hot sauce on the defense. They got rid of the memes and put in some coaches. But hey, it's a 50-yard field goal. The Giants lost on a 50-yard field goal at the close of
to the Falcons.
To the winless Falcons. So now the Giants are 0-3. We had the Cardinals at the Jaguars. Another exciting man. It was the Jaguars pulled a Jaguar and they didn't look that good.
But they had a 103-yard kick six.
A 109-yard, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the longest.
I think it was a 109-yard kick. We haven't seen a kick six in the NFL in a long. But yeah, a kick six. They actually tried a 68-yard field goal
to try to one up somebody else we mentioned.
And instead of it didn't make it to the goalpost. It landed 1 yard from the back of the end zone.
And then that Jacksonville player said, "Let's go."
And he ran it back. Who was the announcer?
Gus Johnson.
Man, I love me some Gus Johnson. And what? That's the perfect man to have on that call.
Yes.
He made the play 3 times more exciting than it already was just from listening to him call.
Gus Johnson's one of the best. He's one of the best announcers.
I think he's definitely top 5, probably top 3. He is really good. But kudos to the Cardinals. The Cardinals offense looks serious.
Started off slow, but got it together.
Yeah, and Kyler Murray is playing for his job, and he's playing pretty good. And he is a fantasy dynamo right now. Yep. Kyler Murray is. We had the Jets Broncos. Broncos won 26-2.
Zilch. I'm sorry, Al. It's just your team's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress. Yeah. The Broncos look pretty good. The Broncos defense looked pretty good. The
Jets really need to work on their wide receivers and their offensive line.
Yeah. The Broncos are 3-0, tied for leading their division
with the Raiders.
I believe in the Raiders a little bit more than the Broncos. I'm not going to knock the Broncos because they're 3-0. They beat who they have to, but they beat the Jets, the Giants,
and the Jags.
So they've probably beat the 3 worst teams in the NFL right now. So they haven't beat anybody yet that's got any punch. So I want to see them beat a good team. Right now, I would put the Raiders in first place in that division just because the Raiders
beat more tougher competition.
Yeah, we had the
Speaking of the
Raiders, we had an overtime game, Dolphins at the Raiders. I think the Raiders might have overlooked the Dolphins a little bit because Tua was out and they brought in Jacoby. But Jacoby was like, I'm a good quarterback too, man. And he went in there and started putting it on him a little bit. Jacoby did.
And overtime, and the Raiders kicked the last-second game-winning field goal.
Yes, they went into overtime. They actually both hit a field goal, didn't they?
Yep.
And then the Raiders hit the second field goal.
Yep.
So, but good teams find a way to win, man. Good teams find a way to win. Congrats to the Raiders. It's good to see the Raiders good again. I think the NFL. Chucky's brought them back. We had the Bucs at the Rams in the most surprisingly dominating game. The Rams look like the best team in the NFC.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt. Matthew Stafford is my MVP of the NFC right now.
I don't think I've ever seen Matthew Stafford play as well as he's had.
Have you seen him smiling and laughing like he did?
It's like he was free of Detroit.
It's like he's got free of Detroit or something. And didn't have to retire to get out. But man, the Rams look like
a dynamo.
We mentioned probably 3 weeks ago the Rams could be the most complete team in the NFC if they gel.
And it looks like they have quicker than
looks like they have gelled a little quicker than we thought they have. So yes, the Rams are number one right now in the NFC in my book. We got the Seahawks at the Vikings. Man, the Seahawks are worse than I thought.
They took a really damaging loss.
Yeah, honestly, it wasn't even close. The Vikings pretty much dominated them the whole entire game. I love me some Russell Wilson. I think he is a fantastic quarterback. But again, I think the core of that team or the coach, it's something in that team
is off.
Is stale. It's just not.
Like Chip Kelly style?
Yeah, it's sort of going, instead of, being here and improving, they're sort of, it's just, something's wrong on that team. And honestly, I don't think they make the playoffs.
You don't think they make the postseason?
Not right now, no.
Ouch.
All right, let's jump on into the Monday night game. And my Cowboys actually looked pretty dang good.
The defense looks like it's going to really step up this year. Your defense...
Dan Quinn
has revived.
The D in Big D.
And because...
Pick sixes, interceptions, sacks, I mean...
Without your best defensive lineman, too.
Yeah, it's refreshing to see the Cowboys good again.
Dallas's defense actually leads the NFL in turnovers forced in 8.
Hey, how about that? Go Cowboys. But yeah, the Cowboys lead their division, and right now I think they have like a 64% chance. I mean, all these percentages.
They play like they did Monday night, and they will.
They play like that, and they will win their division. So that is it for our recap of Week 3. Let's go ahead and do a quick winners and losers of this week. Thursday night, we've actually got, it's an interesting game. Jags with all the new people. It gives me a good chance to see the Jags. I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to them because they're so young and fresh.
They got the Bengals.
We got to see them at the Bengals, so we get to see Joe Burrow too. So I'm actually going to watch that game with some good intention because I want to see what Buffalo's look like because those are both future powerhouses probably,
And I'm going to pick the Bengals, though.
Oh, I'm picking the Bengals by 10, probably, yeah. We got the Lions at the Bears.
This one's going to be a stink fest.
This is going to be a stink fest.
I feel like Detroit will win this football game, Dad.
You going to pick Detroit to upset the Bears?
Look at their offense last year. Look at their offense last week.
Yeah, they are playing the Lions, though. So, I don't know.
I might pick Detroit. Let's go, Detroit.
+3. On the lines. We got the Panthers Cowboys.
That's the toss-up game.
That is the toss-up. It's in Dallas, so I probably picked Dallas.
Just because this is Dallas a more personal game here.
Yeah, Dallas is my favorite team. Carolina's his favorite team.
And they're going off against each other.
One of our teams is going to lose this week. I'm just going to lean towards Cowboys because it's a home game for the Cowboys. You can lean towards Carolina if you want to because Arizona's got a great defense. I'm not going to say either one because I think both of these teams are very, very evenly matched.
I think it comes down to the quarterback, and I think Dak Prescott is the better of the two.
He's had more years, and he has had the same offensive system for 3 years in a row now, which does give
He's
you
used
that.
to it now.
Sam Darnold, this is his first year in the system, and they are. If McCaffrey was in there, I might lean a little bit more, and with McCaffrey being out, that might hurt him a little bit. We got the Browns, Vikings.
This should be a Cleveland victory. All that talent.
I'm going to take Cleveland. They're -2. I think they'll actually beat them by more than that. I think it's maybe a 7 to 10 point game, to be honest. We got the Giants at the Saints. I'm taking the Saints
pretty easily.
Yeah. That's gonna be
the
another.
Giants are a pigsty right now in terms of coaching. They're a pigsty.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of 7+ point wins this week. I think the Saints win. Titans, Jets. I think the Titans win by
a pretty good margin.
7 to 10 points here too. Yeah. Chiefs, Eagles.
The Chiefs
that's another 7 to 10 point win.
The Chiefs really need that win.
If they go 1-3 and lose to the Eagles, you can just go ahead and sign some papers because somebody is leaving the team.
Yep.
Ravens, Broncos.
Want to pick Baltimore?
I want to pick an upset here. I think Baltimore might go down there to the Broncos
and get a dub.
And get
although
a dub.
Mile High is very hard.
Mile High is very hard. Miles High with their defense is really tough. But I think after that 66-yard field goal, I think the Ravens are feeling it a little bit.
Yep.
Maybe we got the Steelers, Packers by 7+ points again. I think we're going to have a lot of lopsided wins this week. The Steelers are just they're reeling right now, and unless they pull it together, this could get real ugly. The Washington Dubs and the Falcons.
Give me
Again,
the Dubs.
somebody's got to win this game.
I'm gonna pick the Dubs.
Yeah, I don't think the Falcons win 2 in a row, so we'll go with the Dubs. We got the Texans Bills, maybe
Buffalo by a landslide.
the biggest crushing of the week. The line's 16.5.
I'm gonna
That's
give
a
Buffalo
huge line.
Buffalo by 10.
But Buffalo, well, yeah, I think it'll be around 10. We got the Colts Dolphins. Somebody's got to win this game too. It's going to be ugly.
I'm gonna pick the Fins here.
I would probably pick the
with
Fins
how Carson
too.
Wentz has played. I don't know if I would trust the Colts.
And Jacoby is playing for maybe a position somewhere else, so he's going to put his best in. Cardinals Rams.
Saucy.
Does that not just taste wonderful? That is a beautifully placed game there. Cardinals Rams.
The Rams. I picked the Rams.
I'll pick the
because they're
Rams
at
too.
home.
They look so good right now, man. They look so good. I think, and I think it might be. I'm going to say it's a 6-point game. We got the Seahawks at the 49ers.
The Seahawks desperately need
The
this.
Seahawks really need this, but I don't think they get it.
I think the Niners win.
I think the Niners. I think the line's only 2.5. I would take 49ers minus 2.5. I think the 49ers are not going to, after losing that heartbreaker, they're mad.
Gonna be angry.
They got to be mad, and they're at home. We got the Bucks Patriots. Homecoming
For Tommy Boy.
for Tom Brady. I think the Pats just caught this bad, getting Tom Brady off of a loss like he did to the Rams, coming back to his home stadium for 20 years. I think they beat the living doors off. I think they beat the doors off the Patriots. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be 10+ points. I mean, I'm not going to go crazy, but I think Tom Brady wants to say, yes, I am still the man. And he's going to prove that he's the man while he's up there. And then on Monday Night Football, we've got actually a really good one. The division leaders in the AFC West.
The
Chargers
Raiders.
and the Raiders play each other. So that's going to be a very good game.
Do you want me to go ahead? I might pick the Chargers here.
The Chargers are a little bit more talented, I think.
I might pick. I want to bet on the Bolts.
You want to bet on the Bolts? Okay, we'll go with the Bolts. Don't be surprised if the Raiders do win that one, because the Raiders, again, are a very good team. I think it's going to be pretty close. But anyways, that is NFL for Week 3 and
welcome to the extravaganza.
4. I hope you had some fun with us. Be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment below. Share us with your friends.
Spread the love.
Sharing is caring. And hit the groovy button over here somewhere. Other than that, we'll see you next time.
See you next week.